Jealous.
All right, so we got everything up and ready to go.
Let's party.
So
Yes.
first off, I want to tell y'all like this. Y'all have no idea how great this is to be able to have the both of you on right now. Like I'm getting a school kid, all right. But if I could, I would like to go ahead and do a little bit of introduction for you two.
Okay.
So first, we got the real fight girl, Cynthia Conte, reporter for Ring TV, podcast host for The Real Fight with Cynthia Conte. She is not at all afraid to ask really tough questions, and probably knows more about boxing than just about anybody. So, everybody, please, y'all give a round of applause. If we had an applause, if this was like an audience for Miss
Thank
Cynthia
you.
Conte.
We got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we also have Mr. Ryan O'Hara. So, I think the last time we spoke, Ryan, I told you that I had kind of tried to Google you online to see like what type of information there was on you out there. So today will be your chance to really tell everyone that you're not as short as the internet says you are.
I know.
He's not. He's not.
It's funny. It actually came up during like before I got into the Boxing Writers Association. Someone made there was a rumor that I had almost like tackled like the president of the association at the Williams Rosario fight. I'm like, what? Like, when did that happen? And he was like, yeah, someone said it was like someone 5'4". I'm like, you got the wrong guy.
It has to be. So I did an additional Google search, and if you search Ryan O'Hara in Google, you will get everything from a Canadian hockey player to your local to like your local realtor. So it seems as though you're a man of many hats, and we also know that you're a big time gamer as well. So, but that's not all of who you are. International Boxing Hall of Fame elector, former Fox News anchor, senior writer of FightNights.com, Mr. Ryan O'Hara.
Until till last year, I left. I technically left Fight Nights last year in January, but I'm going to be with them this weekend on a one-off because I didn't feel like taking a break. I just want to go out and have fun, and plus 70,000 fans at AT&T Stadium. I've never been to AT&T Stadium. I couldn't pass up.
Oh no!
Oh my God, you're gonna love it. You'll be.
I mean, I'm not a
kid
Cowboys
in a
fan,
candy store.
But,
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
So,
I can't wait.
So, are you there covering that now, Cynthia?
No, I'm at home. I'm in California because I have a 3-week. My baby just turned 3 weeks old today, and I can't. I wish.
Right.
I wish. But I don't know if I can put a baby on my back and work in the press room.
I mean, it could be pretty cool, and maybe someday it can be done. That would be pretty awesome.
It can be done. It can be done, but not just yet. Not knowing there's 70,000 people plus everyone else. Not just yet.
Not yet. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see those beautiful snack products in the background. That's
Woo!
we gotta love snack.
Gotta love it.
Yep.
Got a little bit of expedite there over the shoulder, using all that stuff to keep you up with the kid.
All of it. No, sadly, I can't take any of these products right now because I'm a new mom and I'm I'm breastfeeding and all that. So I can't even drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. I can't drink black tea. I can't drink anything because then my baby will get it and then I won't be able to sleep because then they won't sleep. So I think it's almost worse than when you can't eat certain things during pregnancy. I think it's worse after because you can't eat anything or do anything. Wow. I'm like, oh my God.
I gotta say,
you guys would never know.
I gotta say, I would not survive well as a woman. I'm so glad I'm a guy.
Look, I agree.
Drink coffee. Yeah, I can't do it.
100%.
And plus, I'm so clumsy. I'm like, oh shoot, got makeup in my eyeball. I'll just show up to the fight looking weird. Like.
So we also have Mr. Ethan Studd, who just came in. He is a fellow ESBC content creator. He's going to be here helping me manage the questions between you two. So Ethan, welcome in.
Hey, what's up? Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, nice one.
The Stud has arrived live on Daryl's show.
He's probably going to market that one pretty good. The Stud.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course, big fight weekend this weekend, right? Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders. How is everything? Well, you guys aren't really there right now. How is, if you talk to people who were there, how are they handling everything as far as COVID and, like you said, putting 70,000 people back in seats again?
I honestly haven't heard any complications. Honestly, I think COVID's kind of the last thing on their mind. I mean, I'd imagine that they kind of pretend that it's kind of an issue because you look at social media and people are like, hey, you guys aren't wearing masks, this and that. But I think everyone's just ready to move on. I mean, 70,000 people at AT&T Stadium. I think people are just ready to move on and get back to what we do best.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I've spoken to a couple of people there, and it's just, like you said, Ryan, they're all ready to move on. They're not going to be stupid and go do something bad for the fight not to go forward. And so if not, then they get their credentials pulled. And there's also 70,000 plus people attending. So everyone's just glad that fights are back and that there's a live audience, and at this magnitude and this much money online on the line. I mean, no one doesn't want to be the bad person. Billy Joe only wants to be the bad person in this. That's it. So, but I think it's incredible. It's boxing is definitely not dead, and boxing is back. So that I think we're just all tired of talking about COVID. We really are. So let's just move forward and keep it positive, and everyone just be safe out there. That's all.
Yeah, I think this is a big step forward again. And I mean, who else to kind of bring in boxing back to normal than Canelo Alvarez, right?
King.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Who else could bring 70,000 like that again? Other than maybe if Floyd Mayweather came back and fought someone other than Logan Paul.
Maybe if Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. still knew where he was.
Right on the point.
Yeah, that's so true.
So, fighter announcement. Did you guys get a chance to take in the Todd Grisham ESBC fighter announcement?
The third episode today?
Yes, man.
Woo! He's dropping some dimes today. I was doing my makeup. I'm like, no way. I just got the chills thinking about the names. I'm like, from legends to legends, and then people across the pond, some female fighters, and then back to legends, Camacho Sr. and Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, Riddick Bowe, Katie Taylor, Delphine Pursoon, who else? Beeble. Those are just some of the names that were dropped today. I was like, damn, okay. And especially they got Riddick Bowe. Holy shoot. Like, where did you guys find him? So good. I'm really, really happy. I'm happy about that so far. I can't wait to hear who else has been signed. Oh, and yes, I'm sorry, Muhammad Ali is on it today.
Yeah,
they named him today.
We can't forget the greatest. We can't forget the greatest.
Yeah, the GOAT. I go, what? So yeah, I can't wait.
I was happy to see that they signed some guys that were on the previous Fight Night Champion game, and they also added some new folks. Delphi Pursoon, Katie Taylor, Tommy Morrison. Actually, he was on Fight Night Champion. He was kind of a lesser known character there. Obviously, Muhammad Ali was big. Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, it's solid. I'm excited for the new game. Riddick Bowe. I was shocked that they were able to find him, but there are some databases out there that I've gotten access to that you're able to get their landline and cell phone and whatnot. It's actually kind of scary. You could literally look up yourself and find out, oh wow, this person potential relatives, and you find your grandmother on there. I'm like, how they know this? It's pretty deep.
Is that some dark web stuff that you're talking about, Ryan?
The same thing.
I'm
no,
like, tell me so I
can
make sure I'm not on it. That's way too much information.
Well, there was a rumor about someone in boxing had said something, and she had claimed that, oh, my phone got hacked, and I showed my friend like, well, what was the phone number that posted that? And I was able to go through the database and confirm that the person did say it and they lied to them. I was like, yeah, it was them. So, so I was like, that's how we determine. Yeah. So
that's another hat for you.
It's a cool resource. But I mean, my degrees are in security and intelligence. So I wanted to work for the government, but obviously, I found out rather quickly the government's not really a place I want to be.
Wow, I didn't know that about you, Ryan. Okay.
You're right. We learn something new every day. Ryan's out here surfing
another
the deep
hat.
web.
Another hat to him.
Okay, so Ryan, I did have a question for you. So, knowing that you are like a big time gamer, what are you really looking forward to the most with Esports Boxing Club?
I'm just looking forward to putting fighters against one another that could potentially make a good matchup. I'm talking like in the future. So if you wanted to watch Miguel Cotto and Juan Manuel Marquez fight in their prime, you could do it. Or you can put Muhammad Ali versus Tommy Morrison, Vitaly Klitschko versus Ali. In a more realistic setting. I thought Fight Night Champion kind of fell off a little bit as far as the realistic aspect. When your fighters are throwing 2,000 punches a fight, it starts to get a little bit silly. It's like or every fight is a first round knockout. No, Manny Pacquiao's not going to knock out Mayweather in the first round, and vice versa. Can we get a game that's realistic? And I think that ESBC is doing the job so far. I'm a guy that kind of likes a career mode that starts from the amateurs and you move up. And it seemed like in the previous games, you fight like 2 fights in the amateurs, and wow, you're a pro. But that's not realistic. You're not just going to knock out. Or the names that they came up with, they'd be like Ryan Klitschko. I'm like, okay, guys, come on. No, come on. Let's get original here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and Study can also speak to this. Like being a part of this community, you really hear about the difference between a sim game and then the arcade style games that we were used to, 10 years ago. So I think everybody is comfortable right now with moving away from that arcade type style of game and really getting into something realistic. You do wonder though sometimes, like, will the realism rub people the wrong way? Or will everybody just adapt, overcome, and then just keep on moving? I'm just glad boxing is back to video games again.
No, it's true. It's, there's something nostalgic about the arcade video games. Like, when you go play Pac-Man or something, like you long for that because you don't see it. But it's already 2020. Yes, we finally have a boxing game. It's been way too damn long. I don't know how UFC got a game before us when... Not knocking on y'all, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But it's weird when you get to see a video game that looks so incredibly realistic. You have to like double take, triple take to make sure, is this real or not? And I think to be totally immersed into something like this and make you feel like you are part of the game, and then actually you really are part of the game because you can become like managers. You technically are like a boxer. You're living the life of a boxer, what you've always wanted to do, minus the actual training, minus the actual spending money, minus living the real life of a boxer. You can go back to your normal life once you turn off the game. So I think it's so incredibly different. I think it's, what are those it's like it's like movies that you immerse yourself, and then trust me, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not into this. I don't know the lingo to this, but you can become something, and then when you're done, you turn it off and then go back to your normal, boring life. But this is what this video game reminds me of. It's like, I want to be Muhammad Ali today. Okay, cool. It makes me feel really, really cool. So it's kind of like almost like a Black Mirror episode, but a really cool version of it.
Yeah, that's a good point, because there are a lot of people who are really happy about the creative character, where they want to like make like their family members, like.
Yeah.
I spoke to someone once before, and they said, I couldn't actually do boxing for real. My father was a boxer, but I get a chance to try to like be a star and win an actual belt in the virtual world. So I think these guys are doing good work and making dreams come true.
Or if you have some family feuds, that can make for some very interesting results.
Uh-huh.
You are correct.
Yeah. What? The one thing I do miss from Fight Night Round 3 that they didn't add to Fight Night Champion was the fact that you could download elbows and knees. That was. I found that. I had fun with those, man. It's like the guy's about to get knocked down. You land a knee, and Tessitore's like, and he goes down. Too bad the shot was cheap.
See, that's a for everybody watching. That's a warning. Stay away for Ryan O'Hara when this game comes out. All right, because he's just going to beat you while you're down.
Pretty much. I mean, technically, EA's been doing that with UFC because in that sport, you're allowed to just knock on guys even if they're unconscious on the ground. So, but that's UFC.
So, Cynthia, I remember back at the WBC 58th annual convention, you actually did an interview with developers from Steel City Interactive.
Yes.
After that interview, what was it like getting a call? Or did you know beforehand? But what was it like getting a call and finding out that you were actually going to be a part of the game?
Well, what happened was that when I found out I was going to do the interview, I didn't even know who they were. Like the synopsis they gave me, I found out the night before. I was actually on holiday, and they're like, "Can you do this interview?" I was like, "Okay." I had to do like Amir Khan, like all the guests for that day, and then the first were the developers. I'm like, "Well, what is this?" And they're like, the way that they sent it to me, it didn't make sense. So I'm like, I had to Google everything, and I had like not even 10 hours to do my homework on these guys. And then when I actually started reading that, I'm like, this is the coolest thing. Like I heard about it, but when really listening to really dissecting what was written about them, was like, okay, I can't wait to unfold this story. And then when I actually started talking to them, I'm just a normal fan at the same time, totally geeking out, listening to what they're saying. I'm like, this is so rad. And it was kind of, I felt like this was like historical because I go, these guys are going to make such a big difference, not just in sport, but in the sport of boxing and in video game history to create something so incredibly just so different from everything out there right now that I know of, because I don't know if there's any other game out there sort of like this, but in a different sport or a different realm of something. No. But it was cool. Like a lot of people had so many questions about it because I did take questions from people, and they couldn't. The developers couldn't really answer because they couldn't say anything much. They didn't know the fighters yet. But the more questions I asked, the more that they were able to really talk about it, and we got to see their vision. But that was then, and their vision from then and now is just so much more vast. It's just so large that I would have never even thought that they could even do that. And they actually can. I mean, technology is it's amazing. It's amazing what these guys have come up with. I mean, when they say dream of something, they went above and beyond to the stars, to the moon, to space, and thought of this. And I know that there's so much more that they're going to be coming up with that we all collectively could not even have thought of.
Wow, that's quite the endorsement.
No, and I'm like, I'm not a gamer like Ryan. Like the gaming I've done, I played Punch-Out, I played like Super Mario Brothers, like the typical stuff, Pac-Man. But I'm not one of those people. I see your PS5. I'm not one of those guys or ladies to be, sitting there for hours and hours. Like my boyfriend did it like every day. I bet he was one of all of you guys every day. Walmart, Best Buy, whoever was dropping it at all hours of the night, and I'm like, maybe I do that for a pair of Louboutins or something that matters to me, but not not a gaming system that. But it goes to show you when people out there, millions of people are waiting for a video game or a video console to drop. There's power behind that. So with a video game that's going to be coming out like this, that everyone has been asking for over 10 years, this game is going to be, it's going to be like a PS5. People are going to want to get their hands on it. And we're talking everybody around the world is a boxing fan of some sport, some sport, whether it's now or then. So yeah. And then I found out that I was going to be on it. They emailed me. It hasn't even actually been announced. It hasn't been publicly announced, but oh well, cat's out of the bag, guys.
Well, they have you like you guys are like on the roster on the website.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know that yet.
Yeah. But
you guys been there for ages.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay. Oh.
The funny thing for me is that my picture is like from like 2013. Like it's so old.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see your picture.
Yeah.
Does it look like you? Do you have mustache and beard? Do you have a mustache
Oh
and
no,
beard?
I was
It's a lot
thinking
younger.
that day.
No.
I was actually broadcasting an MMA fight that night, and my friend Matt, who was running like the pictures, he's like, "Hey Ryan, come and hide in the studio and take a picture." And it's like, okay, and that's the only professional picture that I got that worked. I was like, well, thanks, Matt, because I just had to use it for ESBC. But yeah, someone pointed out, I was like, man, you look a lot younger, and I was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were extremely clean shaven. In
Yeah.
that picture.
For sure.
So have you guys been able to go to the studio and do your like in-game renders, all that kind of stuff already?
No, not yet. I mean, when I got emailed, it was still like during COVID and all that. So I think all that I think it's pretty much up in the air still. I mean, the earliest I heard was July, but I don't know. I don't know
Yeah, we're
yet.
still social distancing in the UK until the 17th.
Yeah.
Bill, are you guys
Yeah,
on lockdown?
we can't go into. We can do takeaway and stuff, but we can't like go into pubs and that. So it's at least until the end of May, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to all that. It's interesting because my dad was in the military, and he actually was stationed in Yeovil, England for a while. I'm not sure how far that is from Sheffield, but it'd be cool to bring the O'Hara name back to the area at least for a few days.
So if you guys haven't done your renders, have they at least explained to you what your overall part is going to be, as far as bringing kind of that like immersiveness to eSports Boxing Club?
Cynthia, your turn.
Say that again, because I just went through the roster and I found myself. Wow.
It's a shame they didn't even call you guys for your old pictures.
Yeah.
No, they did ask me. It's weird because they're like, with a certain quality, all the pictures I sent them, they were professional pictures that were sent by boxing photographers. They're like, it's not good enough. And the picture they're using was one from an iPhone from the Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia fight at the Fox Studios with an iPhone. I'm thinking, okay, I guess. So anyways, what was your question? I'm like so thrown off.
Like, so seeing as that y'all haven't gone into the studio yet, do renders and all that kind of stuff, have they explained to you what your actual scope is going to be as far as a part of like ESBC?
I just know that I would be reporting, but I don't know to what extent. I don't know, like doing what we would do, our normal job, but I don't know how that would work. So no, I guess not. Not really.
I think it would be great if they allowed y'all to come in and just kind of like be yourself, to really get like the real you like in the game, because y'all have a pretty big part and I think the reporting portion of boxing, especially in a video game, I think is extremely overlooked. Y'all are charged with really like bringing all of the like drama of the sport and just, you know what I'm saying, and saving it for history. So I think if they were to allow you guys to come in there, really be yourself, record your own lines, all that kind of stuff, I think it would be an amazing part of the game. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm probably going to recommend it to them the next time I get a chance to talk to them.
That conversation has been had, though. We actually did have that conversation about, because I don't know, I try to be different than other reporters, to the point, you kind of like add a little humor, when it fits. And I talked about, adding humor to my reporting, and they said they were open to it. So, maybe that would work. I know that my role's going to be like social media, in-game reporter sort of thing. And then depending how the first launch goes, there's the potential that, my role will be expanded, potentially doing like, interviews after the fight and whatnot. But of course, that would require motion capture, but I'm not really sure where that's going to go. But we'll see. I'm open to anything really. I'm just excited to have this opportunity, and I thank Dougie Fisher for reaching out to Ash and getting me this opportunity on ESBC.
Yeah, I like they are definitely bringing the true like spirit of the sport to video games, and again, I think that's a big step because the more people talk about boxing, the more the sport wins, like overall. So I did have a couple of questions. Have you had a chance to see the actual game yet?
Just based on what they put out on social media and the emails that they've sent out and what's on YouTube, yes, and it's incredible. It's just incredible to me. Like even when they shoot AK in like UFC or even just recently the fights when they show them in the ring, that's what it reminds me of. That's what the games look like. They look that real. So, I just got the chills again. I'm serious. It's like I said, I'm not a gamer, but for something to come to life in front of your eyes and you have to think, is this real or not? That's something very special that someone has created or a team has created for us. But that's the only thing. I don't know. Ryan, did you get like a secret link that I don't know about?
I did. I was through the Zoom chat. The guy that is the head of the operation. Gave me some behind the scenes of what they were working on and told me not to share it. And it looks great, honestly. I think it was it was mostly head movement shots and whatnot, and ring IQ, just general movement around the ring. And I thought it looks great. I think this was probably around I would say October of last year. I could be wrong. I think it was around October 20th of last year is when I got to take a look at it, and it looks phenomenal from what I saw.
Okay.
You got anything Study?
Not really. I was just thinking about obviously with the presenting thing. I mean, you guys obviously that's missing out a lot in a lot of fighting games. There's not much presenting or after fight things. I mean, when it comes to you, like Coach was quite overlooked. That you guys will make the career feel much more alive. I think, like if people don't enjoy the online or they don't just want to get on and go get their asses kicked by people that play the game for 20 hours a day, career mode is where they want to. I think what Cynthia was trying to say was about role playing, where you can kind of go in and escape from the real life and role play a character. And then you guys are there interviewing them after the fight instead of just one fight, schedule the next one, move on, fight. And I think being able to be interviewed before or after or whatever makes the career feel much more alive. And I suppose the replayability as well. So you don't just play it once. You're like, cool, if you have options, you could be a dick at some point, and then you could be really friendly to your fighters, and then you could be a Tyson Fury and sing after every fight, or you whatever it may be. But I think that's really good that they got some presenters, and especially different personalities. With Ryan trying to add some humor to it instead of just how was the fight? Good, all right, bye.
Yeah.
I think that's good to add a bit of personal flair to it. Make it all feel a bit more alive, because not everyone's going to be able to be fighting Ali for the heavyweight world title anytime soon. So, I think it's good to be able to do that and feel that experience from you guys.
Hope they let you guys write articles. That would be great. I'd love to win a title and then get an article from one of you two.
Yeah,
it'd be amazing.
That'd be interesting, because I'm trying to think of how many like pre-written articles can I think of in a video game setting. Because I remember looking at I played NASCAR 2000, like 1999 and 2000 back in the N64, and man, those articles were cheesy. It's like you finished 39. Wow, he's the worst driver ever. Like, are you going to retire? I'm like, dude, it's only 2 races in. I'm not going to quit.
All right. So before I let you go, last couple questions. Favorite fighter announced so far. Cynthia, we'll start with you.
Oh, that's hard. There's too many. You can't. There's legends. No, that's not a fair question. I mean, that's not a fair question. It's too many.
Top two.
Jeez. Top 2. Well, I would have to say Sugar Ray Leonard. And that's hard. Oh my God. There's just come back to me on the second one. Like,
Ryan, you're up.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I got it. Well, the first one, I obviously got to go with Vitaly Klitschko because
yes.
Yeah, Vitaly was one because I was at my friend's house. They owned a Chinese restaurant in Yuma, Arizona. and they invited me over for dinner. I think I may have told you the story already, Daryl, but they invited me over. It was homemade orange chicken. I've never had orange chicken that good in my life. Still haven't. It was literally the best.
Wow.
And they were like, yeah, we're here. Pay-per-views, Vitaly Klitschko and Lennox Lewis. I was having the best Chinese food of my life. And I was like, I'm going to go for this robot-looking guy. He looks like he's a menace. And then, obviously he ended up losing. But that's how I got into boxing. Initially, obviously, I was a De La Hoya fan. I was kind of like De La Hoya everything. But then I started to get into other fighters. Like, okay, the other fighters exist other than Oscar. And so, Vitaly was one of those guys. And my dad's family is from Boston. So, and see Rocky Marciano in there, people have always wondered, how would Rocky fare against some of the other top heavyweights? Now you have a chance to put it in the simulator and see how you do. So, I mean, honestly, there's not a single fighter announced in this game that I did not enjoy, because everyone has a story. Whether it's Riddick Bowe, Terrence Crawford. To see Terrence Crawford in there, you see some of the younger the younger generation in there. Caleb Plant. So it's been quite an experience so far, and I'm assuming there's going to be some DLC coming up. It's that you could maybe Canelo will be on there, considering he's going to be headlining this weekend.
Right.
See, he can't pick two.
Yeah, I can't.
See, you can't. I mean, mine would just have. I would always just go towards the greats, because it's not fair, because they're not around anymore, and I don't want to pick someone that's around and they'll be like, well, why'd you pick this person over me? So the other one would be Joe Louis, because it's funny enough, Joe Louis he has a lot of kids, and there's a junior. Joe Louis Jr. is my nephew's godfather.
That is epic.
Wow.
It's so weird, because I looked at him and my sister introduced me and I was like, Joe Louis. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. What, right? And then I looked at him like, you look like this boxer, Joe Louis. He's like, that's my dad. I'm like, no way.
No way.
And sure enough, I'm like, oh my God. So I pick him. Those are, even Ray Robinson, LaMotta. Those are my picks, the legends.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I ran into a friend in Denver that actually went on a date with Marvin Hagler's daughter, and she invited him back to her house, and he was a boxing fan, and he was just looking around like, how come you have so many pictures of Marvin Hagler in your house? He's like, oh, that's my dad. And he Marvin walks around the corners. Hey, I'm Marvin. It's nice to meet you. And he's like, what the? He's like, no way.
I need y'all's life so I can randomly walk into famous people like
that.
Yeah. Okay, final question. Who do you have for the win this weekend between Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders?
Cynthia, you go first.
I will say, I mean, this is a really tough fight. I think this is Canelo's toughest fight yet, especially in the super middleweight division. I think it's one of the best matches that he will have in his career. Billy Joe Saunders is a very, like everyone's going to say it, very slippery southpaw fighter. He's clever. He's crafty. He's BJ Saunders. Will he be able to get away from Canelo? I'm not sure, but he's not fighting Lara anymore. Like Canelo he's a much different fighter. I'm going to say Canelo, 8-10 rounds, unanimous decision. I'm not going to say unanimous. I'm going to just say Canelo 8-10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan,
He's going to make him pay. He's going to make him
I'm going to say Canelo on points. I'm going to take the safe route. I think it's going to be competitive for the first half of the fight. If I'm being honest, Billy Joe Saunders hasn't looked the same since he tested positive for oxyloferin. Canelo, on the other hand, you haven't even with the clenbuterol, his performances haven't really changed.
That was his what is it called? His nasal, his
the quote unquote nasal spray.
Try telling Victor Conte when I asked him about it, he's like, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember talking to Victor, and he was like, yeah, he talks about, when Billy Joe Saunders could weigh 190 and then, cut 30 pounds in a couple of days, that was like the first, that was when he was a little bit suspicious.
Give me that. I want that stuff. Yeah. Jeez.
Well, I took my own version of oxylofrin and Aruba. It was tainted sushi. Ooh, man. Lost 30 pounds in 3 days. I was like, wow, I haven't been a junior featherweight since middle school. This is a trip.
Just ran right through you, huh?
Oh yeah, it was bad, man. But yeah, I expect it to be like an 8-4 type of fight. I just haven't been impressed with Billy Joe. I mean, I was really high on him. I projected that he would school David Lemieux, win 11, 12 rounds, which is what he did. But I haven't really seen that, urgency from Billy Joe since. And he hasn't been, against tough guys. And Canelo, he fought Callum Smith, he fought Triple G twice. He's in a good place, and I think that he's gonna, he'll probably have a little bit of difficulty in the first half of the fight with Billy Joe's jab. He has a really good jab when he wants to use it, but I think once Canelo gets to the body, it's going to be game over. It'll probably be like an 8-4 type of fight. Hell, he might even knock him out, but when you move up in weight, you tend to have less knockouts. So I see Canelo winning comfortably, maybe 8-4, 9-3, that sort of fight, not by unanimous decision.
All good points. Study, you got anything to add?
No, obviously, I'm from the UK, so I should support Billy Joe, but I'm just being realistic. Canelo wins, I think. I think Ryan's right. I think he doesn't struggle at the start, but I think it's a bit more competitive first 4 or 5 rounds, and then, Canelo gets better and better every fight. I think he figures it out, and I'd say probably drops him in the 8th, body shots, and then probably finishes it in the 10th. I think it's competitive. I don't think it's 10-0, but I think going into the 10th, it's probably, 6-3, something like that. But I would assume Canelo drops him with a body shot at least once, and then probably finishes the fight. And I don't think Billy Joe gets up more than twice, personally. I think, all this whole chant and gypsy thing, that him and Fury have been doing, that's no good when he's in the ring with Canelo. And it could be a 100-foot ring. Canelo's still going to track him down and take his head off. I don't think it matters personally. But, Billy Joe's great and his movement is great. But even he said himself when Hearn interviewed him about, Austin Trout being a slick mover, that he struggles. And Billy Joe said, well, he just struggled, but he still won. So clearly movement's not the key here. And that was from Billy Joe's own mouth. Mm-hmm. So he obviously has a different game plan than just the slick moving thing. But
I hope so. I hope Billy Joe comes out with everything and anything against Canelo.
He's going to need it.
Just throw everything out there that you can. Go balls to the walls. But I think, Canelo. I think he has so much anger, especially during the hype of fight week, that after he fist bumped, just left him hanging, and this whole stupid ring thing. Right. No, he doesn't want to be made full. What time does this fight happen for you guys in the UK?
Fun.
It's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be Hey, Cynthia didn't die either. She's back. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
She's here. She's back. The legend herself.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Ta-da. Yeah, I hear you. I hear her fine.
Yep.
Oh, she's on mute though.
What's the internet without technical difficulties, right?
That's true. No, literally, I tried using my phone to scan my boarding pass for the first time. It was just an epic fail. I literally had to go back and get a piece of paper because it wouldn't scan. I'm like, I hate you, phone. Yeah. I was going to go old school from now on because new school always disappoints me.
It just gets you a good old flip phone.
Yeah.
Your old Nokia that'll never break.
Yeah, or a Motorola.
Is she there?
Yeah, I think so. I saw her. Yeah, she's there. She's just on mute, I guess.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Yep. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Okay, I got cut off. I'm like, hello, what happened?
Okay, so if you could tell everybody where to find you online, all your socials, all that good stuff.
You can find me at The Real Fight Girl on Instagram, on Twitter at Cynthia_Conte, and you can see all my interviews on ringtv.com and also on my channel, The Real Fight with Cynthia Conte, on my own personal YouTube channel.
Are you related to Victor? I've always wondered.
Me too, actually.
That is the $1 million question always everyone asks. Ask Uncle Victor.
I can text him. Hey, are you related to Cynthia? Yep.
Well, again, thank y'all for coming. I really did. I love the conversation. I love how spirited you guys are about the game that's coming out. The hype is real, extremely real.
You should have seen my first conversation with Ash. I couldn't stop smiling the whole time. It was crazy. Right? I was like a little kid on Christmas morning, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's really exciting to be part of something that's, from the ground up, and just seeing everything come to fruition and just become something so grand. And to see the fans, like even today, just watching the stream, people were so excited when the fighters were announced. And it's like they're like little kids in a candy store. It's just every day or every time they're announced, it's like, well, why not this person? Or, even younger people, they're like, oh, that's cool that they got someone, I didn't even think that they would even know these fighters, but these are the true boxing fans that are coming out. So it's a good thing. Thank you for having us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daryl. It was a blast.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming again.
Texas. Can't wait.
I know.
Thank y'all for taking the time out, and y'all stay safe.
You too.
Oh, will do, man.
You
it's
too.
Gonna be fun.
All right. Bye, guys.
Buy Snack Nutrition. It's great.
Yes, buy some snack.
Yeah.
Powered by Snack, baby. Bye, guys.
All right, see ya.